Well, folks, I spoke at the Dawn the other day, and what I was trying to say is, for the people that can't actually comprehend how evil the plan is, see, people can't understand that this is a long, sordid agenda. And it's been happening hundreds and hundreds of years. What we have to realise as Irish people, we have to fight for our freedom every 100 years. Every 100 years we have to fight again. Now what I want to address is all the crimes against humanity, and I don't even realise it's happening. So we have a war on the Catholic faith in Ireland. Now I'm not a Catholic church goer, but I know there's people that do go to Mass. If the airports are open, the church doors should be open. And the way I see it is the parishioners of Ireland have funded the churches for hundreds of years. And the priests are prepared to just step aside and follow government regulations when it suits them. Before they used to go under canon law, and now all of a sudden they go under the private law. So now we have a war on our own religion. There's a war against our children. I just want everyone to be aware of a new regional government's new plan, and it's called MAPS. Now MAPS sounds very nice because it's minor attracted persons. Now say that back to front, and it's persons attracted to minors. Now I have no problem with LGBT. I have no problem with what adults, consensual adults do in the privacy of their own home. But when you add a plus and you add a P at the bottom of that, that's when things get dangerous. They want to get the children, they want it to be, the new consensual age of sex is 14. Now why would that be? That means that the little perverts can get away with doing whatever they want, and the 14-year-olds are going to be considered consenting adults. Now what we have to realise is, there's definitely a war on children. There's a new book that went into the library, even our own library in Athlone, and that book was called Beyond Magenta. It was written by Susan Gerken. That book talks about children sexualising themselves. The WHO, it says, the World Health Organization talks about children masturbating, children sexualising themselves. They want to teach transgenderism in the schools, and they want to be able to make it legal for a child to go and have a full sex change at the age of 16 without parental consent. Now I can tell you I'm 43 years of age and I still don't know what to be when I grow up. So I can find it very hard that a 16-year-old will know, when it's still in the middle of it, to all its hormonal processes, that it would know that it wants to make that life-changing decision that can never, ever be altered. Now, I'm all for people, if somebody wants to be transgender, fine, but make that decision as an adult, as an educated adult. So what we have to realise is that 179 countries signed up to the New World Order. Now, the New World Order, it's all laid out in the World Economic Forum. It sounds beautiful, sustainable this and sustainable that. None of us will be hungry, but we'll all be eating genetically modified food. None of us will be homeless. We'll all live on 4x4s in a smart grid in a smart city, surveilled 24 hours a day. Nobody will be entitled to own their own personal private property. Nobody will be able to farm and support and fund themselves. Nobody will be entitled to have private owned businesses. My business, I've been self-employed for 20 years and my business is not worth a damn now. All of my clients are afraid of me because I can't wear a mask. And I've made it quite clear that masks, N95 masks, don't work. And I don't just say that now because I want to be a divergent against the new regulations. I say it from personal experience. I'm a beauty therapist. I used to do spray tan. I was getting spray tan up the nose, so I said I put a mask on myself to protect myself from the spray tan. I put the mask on. The spray tan was still going up my nose, so I can tell you that the water molecule is bigger than the microscopic virus. So then I tried to use the mask for cutting lads' hair, just to see would the hair go through the mask. And lo and behold, I was still eating the hair. So I know from personal experiences, masks don't work. And then they brought in this new wash your hands with carcinogenic products. I can tell you, as a beauty therapist and a hairdresser, that I've used them products, and after 3 weeks of using hand sanitizers, the skin was falling off my hands. And they want every child in a public school to use these carcinogenic products on their hands every couple of minutes. Then they want to leave the windows and the doors open in the classroom to trying to make the children sick so they can add to their case demic.
Listen!
Yeah, and what they want to do, what they want to do is have children afraid and have them thinking that they are going to kill their own grandparents. This is psychological warfare for children. It's a psychological warfare on ourselves. And what every person around here needs to realise is we are a new family. We need to stick together. We all have different opinions, but the ultimate goal for the whole lot of us is feckin' freedom. We need to stand strong together. We're not going to agree on every single thing, and I don't care about that. What we need to do now is stand strong and educate our friends and families. Now, everyone can understand this. I'm going to just say the ways that we've been infiltrated for a very long time. There's a lot of societal problems happening here, and that's how the people became homeless in the first place. I just want to mention this. People talk about heroin addicts. Let me tell you that I know from going to the science talks and the pharmacy talks that heroin was designed by the pharmacist and pumped out by Big Pharma. And when an epidemic happened and people started to realise that people were getting addicted to heroin, they rebranded it. They rebranded the name heroin. Okay? And they start calling it OxyContin and Oxycontin. There are other different forms of heroin. Now we have a lot of people, all our upper echelon, on prescription drugs. But because they're wearing suits, and because they have homes to live in, they're a different breed, and all of a sudden we have a division. So they've been doing this for a very long time. They've been picking us off one another. They have the heroin addicts left to one side. They don't care about them. They could have housed them, rehabilitated them, but they don't want them. They don't want to rehabilitate anyone. They want us to look our nose down on our own people. I talk about the Aborigines. They've been the indigenous people around the world. They try to get rid of them because they carry the history. They carry the ancestral knowledge that they want us to forget. They've turned us against our own indigenous people, the travellers of Ireland. They're our people. How dare we turn our back on our own people, stopping them from travelling the country? They should be allowed to travel the country, making them move into mobile homes. That's not what they wanted. That's not what the Aborigines wanted, and it's not what the Maoris wanted. Everybody needs to start respecting people and their walks of life. But what they've done is they've pitted us off one another. The middle class look their nose down at the working class, and the working class are looking their nose down at the travelling class. It's divide and conquer. What they're doing is now they're bringing in a whole load of different immigrants into the country. It's not their fault. They've blown up their countries. They've funded both sides of wars. And what they've done is, when the country's on its hands and knees, they get in with their big corporations and they buy up all the governments and they take over. These people have nowhere to come. But what happens is the European Union are paying for them to be housed. So what happens then is that we are falling out with the migrants because they're creating that divide and conquer. We cannot fall out with any normal people anymore. We need to go and clean the filth from the top. Every industry has a certain amount of goodness, and every industry has a certain amount of filth. So we have the Gardaí at the top, Drew Harris. Drew Harris, you never denounced the Queen. And you know what? Ireland, the Republic of Ireland has never been a republic. We've had the illusion of living in a republic, and we've had the illusion of freedom. We've had no freedom. They've created the choices for us just because we think A, B or C. We think we've made an independent choice. No, we haven't. We've been slaves for a very long time. And when people talk about Black Lives Matter, of course Black Lives Matter, so does white lives and so does every other life. But what they've done is they're funding Black Lives Matter to get people to fall and fight with one another. Well, let me tell you that Irish people were worth less than the black slaves. You'd buy an Irish slave for a fiver and it cost you 50 for a black slave. So when we owe nobody nothing, we've been trampling down ourselves. What we need to do, every race, creed and religion needs to come together and be one. The end. Yes.